Good morning, everyone. We have about 2 minutes before we start. Good morning, everyone. And welcome to you if you're online. We're about to begin another meditation this morning. So we'll just take one more minute. So get comfortable wherever you are. So let's begin. Welcome. I'm Anne Ahokangas. Join with me in this guided meditation. You may be living day to day concerned about not having enough, or whatever you feel is necessary for happiness and security. And maybe your body echoes those feelings by sending messages of discomfort in the form of anxiety and worry or stress. This, however, doesn't have to be the way that it is. Instead, if you learn to trust the intelligence of the universe and practice living carefully and intentionally, you can live fearlessly without worry or a focus on lack. You can learn to expect only the best and live your life from a place of true joy. When your mind nourishes your body with carefree thoughts and feelings, the body naturally returns to this beautiful natural state of happiness and calm. And from this place of bliss, you're able to regain the memory of who and what you really are. A beautiful, magnificent spiritual being. You are interconnected with the creative power of the universe. And as you reconnect to your true nature, you cross this invisible boundary between your ego and your true self. And you begin to feel more lighthearted. You'll find humor in everyday circumstances. You'll notice that you're laughing more even at yourself because you no longer take yourself so seriously. You become more able to handle the unexpected. With calm and ease, your life becomes free of drama. Are you ready to learn to detach from worry about the future? And and trust instead that there's always enough of anything you need or desire. How would it change you to know this? Would you feel happier? More carefree? Notice that all these qualities are available to you right in this moment. Won't you choose them now? And in this relaxed and wonderful, blissful state, there is nothing you lack, for all your needs are met. So let's begin with some ideas on how to practice living each moment as it comes. Living each moment with the light and open heart, paying attention to how those carefree moments carry with them an even greater abundance, more joy, more fulfillment. So take some time now to reflect on good times. So perhaps today you can reflect on some good times. Look at old photos, play a favorite song, pet your cat or dog, take a leisurely walk, even spend time with someone who warms your heart. Experience the joy of all that you love, including yourself. As a spiritual being, there is nothing to fear. For all that truly exists in the world is love. So as we begin this meditation together, take a moment to place your attention in your heart. And release all the whirling thoughts that may have been going on up to this moment. And focus on today's centering thought. I move through my days light-hearted and carefree, knowing all is well. I move through my days light-hearted and carefree, knowing all is well. Now let's begin. Please get yourself comfortable, placing your hands lightly on your lap, closing your eyes if they aren't already. And in this moment, go within, to that place of inner quiet, where you experience your connection to the higher self, the place where spirit resides. Let go of all thoughts and begin to observe the inflow and outflow of your breath. With each breath, allow yourself to become more relaxed, more comfortable, more at peace. And gently say to yourself, I move through my days light-hearted and carefree, knowing all is well. I move through my days lighthearted and carefree, knowing all is well. Repeating it mentally and allowing it to flow with effortless ease. I move through my days, lighthearted and carefree, knowing all is well. And if you find yourself distracted by thoughts, sensations in your body, or noises in the environment, simply return your attention to mentally repeating, I move through my days, lighthearted and carefree, knowing all is well. Please continue with your meditation. Don't mind the time. And at the end, I'll help you by ringing a soft bell to indicate it's time to release your mantra. I move through my days, lighthearted and carefree, knowing all is well. I move through my days, lighthearted and carefree, knowing all is well. I move through my days, lighthearted and carefree, knowing all is well. I move through my days, lighthearted and carefree, knowing all is well. I move through my days, lighthearted and carefree, knowing all is well. It's time to release the mantra. It's time to release the mantra. Please bring your awareness back into your body. Take a moment to rest, inhaling and exhaling slowly and deeply. When you feel ready, open your eyes. And as you continue with your day, carry a sense of the lightheartedness with you, reminding yourself, of the centering thought for today. I move through my days light-hearted and carefree, knowing all is well. I move through my days light-hearted and carefree, knowing all is well. I move through my days light-hearted and carefree, knowing all is well. And so it is.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Unity Spiritual Center, Hamilton, where we live out loud. And my name is Marcia Daly. I'll be your presider for today. Anyone here for the first time? No. Okay. But online, yes, if you're here for the first time, we welcome you. We thank you for your presence. And for those who are always with us, we are again appreciative of your presence. We are a tithing center. 10% of all we receive goes back out into the community to bless and serve. And this month we are supporting the Native Women's Center as well as Unity Canada. So let's begin with the song of the month. Our singer Emilio, and it's Karen Drucker and John Hoy. Just do it. Just do it.
Just do Just do it. Don't talk about it. Don't put it off. Just do it. Just say it. I'll speak my truth. I'll stay my knees. Just say it. Just claim it. Act as if no, it's none. Just claim it. Just breathe. Breathe in faith. Breathe out fear. Just breathe. Just do it. 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 Come on, do it. I'm gonna give myself a gentle push. I'm gonna start today. Just do it. Don't talk about it. Don't put it off. Just do it. Just trust. Trust myself. Trust my heart. Just trust. Love. I'm gonna give love. I'm gonna show love. Just love. Faith. I have faith. All is well. I have faith. Just do it. 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 I'm gonna give myself a gentle push. I'm gonna start today. Hey, yeah. Every time I criticize and focus on my flaws, I don't realize that I am worthy and capable, and I deserve to have it all. So now's my time to rise and shine. Go for my dreams that are in my mind. Take one small step and not be afraid. With faith and love, I've got it made. Woo! I made it through that. Just do it. Don't talk about it. Don't put it on. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Whatever I want, I'll start today. Just do it. 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 Come on, do it. I'm gonna give myself a gentle push. I'm gonna start today. Just do it. It's done.
You are such a good rapper. Oh, hello everyone, and those of you online, hello. I'm Reverend Ann Ahokangas. It's my absolute delight to be here with you today. I have another one of these filtered photographs of me. I do these selfies and then play with this computer program. So if you ever want to have a fun selfie of yourself, send me a picture and I will use the filter. So, you know, you can look wrinkle-free. See? It doesn't do chin lifts, but you notice I cut it off there. So, so that way, you know, I can pretend. So join with me in this joyful moment as we just get centered and remember the truth of our being. As I speak this prayer in the first person, present tense and positive, remembering there is only one thing going on here, and that is spirit. It is everything seen and unseen, and it is being my life right here, right now. It is who I am. And it doesn't know what's going to happen till I make up my mind, because my word has power. Even if my thoughts are subconscious, my life is being created by who it is that I am. And so today I choose to be carefree, to trust and to know that I am always divinely guided, that all is well, and that I can be who I am, and it is safe. And so I let go with a grateful heart, and I allow it to be so. Please join with me in affirming, and so it is.
There's a light that burns inside of you. It's a light that stays forever true. Though the seasons may change or your life may rearrange, it shines on for you. Let your light shine brighter than the sun, guide you through your pain, like the sun parts the rain. Let your light shine brighter than the moon. Let it lead you, burn the flame of your heart again. There's a light that burns so deep within, sometimes dim when fear may trickle in. It will show you you're strong, make your heart sing a song. It shines on, it shines on. Let your light shine
The absolute word is fearless, and the affirmation, grounded in divinity, I fearlessly live authentically. In the past, I may have hidden my inner light, afraid to be myself. I may have tried to please others by conforming to someone else's idea of who I should be. I may have shrunk from an aspiration, fearing that I would fail in pursuit of my goals. I may have doubted the divine perfection at the core of my spiritual beingness, identifying with my perceived flaws and feeling small and inadequate. Today, I make a new choice. I choose to live fearlessly, drawing upon my power of faith to believe in myself, my power of imagination to envision my best life, and my power of understanding to know my divinity. Bold and brave, I'm fearless as I live my life authentically, pursue my dreams, and express my divine nature.
Am I strong enough to bear the burdens that sometimes come living this thing called life? Am I wise enough to make the right decisions when I'm standing at the fork in the road? Sometimes I want. Oh, where am I? Sure, let's start in the beginning. Because I'm the place where God shows up. Yeah. Here we go. Okay, let's do it. Thank you. Am I, thank you, strong enough to bear the burdens that sometimes come living this thing called life? Am I wise enough to make the right decisions when I'm standing at the fork in the road? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Will I have enough to do the things I need to do to take care of myself? Will I have the health of mind and body to live a life of grace and wholeness? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Sing. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place. You are the place. We are I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up.
Guess what we're talking about today? This whole month is about authenticity. And so today we're going to cultivate authenticity by dropping the masks and the bushel baskets. You know, and the bushel baskets is a reference from the Bible about covering your light with a bushel basket and how silly that would be. I mean, the bushel basket would just light on fire and eventually you'd be exposed anyway, right? So how do we do that? So being yourself and asking for excellence, not perfection, are the two sort of areas I'm going to look at. And also a special video guest. And you know, we wear masks in celebration for fun and to be safe. And I don't mean physical masks. I mean, we put on a facade, a persona, often in different circumstances so that we feel safe, so that we feel accepted, so that we feel good about ourselves. And is that necessary? Well, we talked about that last week, and sometimes, yes, it is. Because if that's what you need to do to feel good wherever you're going, then go for it. But know that you really don't have to. And the more that we become aware of that ourselves, the more we create a world where it's safe for everyone, no matter what. So masks that we wear for our hearts may keep us safe until they don't. Have you had the opportunity, and perhaps you're doing it now, to be masking your heart? And why are you doing that? Maybe because you got hurt, or you don't want to get hurt again. Vulnerability empowers us to drop the mask and let our light shine. And Brené Brown has written several books and did all her research on vulnerability and how important it is, and that we really truly can't be fully successful in who we are as an individual and who we are as a personality, our real personality, unless we're vulnerable, unless we're willing to be vulnerable. And it's a big ask, and it can be scary, especially in new circumstances with new people. Maybe it's a new situation. Maybe you're not who you were 2 years ago for whatever reason, and feeling exceptionally vulnerable. Here's an affirmation I'd love for you to say with me if that's comfortable. I have the courage to be vulnerable and let my light shine. And it does take courage. So why is vulnerability important? So basically, it allows us to first accept ourselves and to accept others. And really, you know, we always tend to, in our early days of spirituality, or even before spirituality, to put our power outside of ourselves into other people and their reactions to us. And, you know, wouldn't it be wonderful if we all had had the opportunity as a kid to be brought up to be just fully loving ourselves first and confident. And so may we do that for each other today, the child in each of us. The vulnerability involves your willingness to accept the emotional risk that comes from being open and willing to love and be loved. The fear of vulnerability is a very common fear, and you can learn how to be vulnerable. It's actually rewarding. They say one of the greatest fears in life is public speaking. And I can still remember, I think I was in grade 5, and I won something, and I got to be one of 3 people to do a talk in front of the school. And I was really confident in my classroom. But when I had to stand up in front of, I think it might have been 200 kids at that time, because it was the under grade 5, and my throat closed up, and no words came out of my mouth, and I just burst into tears, and that was even worse than not being able to speak. And I remember being so afraid and never would have thought back then that I'd be this comfortable in front of an audience of, who knows how large our audience is today, especially with it being online. And it's come from understanding that what you think about me doesn't matter. It's not my business. Now, maybe it matters if you're hiring me. And so if I'm not a good fit, yahoo, yippee, skippy, let me know right from the get-go and I'll go and do something else. And to have come to that place has taken me some time. And so where are you perhaps holding back from being vulnerable? And maybe dunking your toe in and see what happens. Being vulnerable is a way to nurture authenticity, belongingness, and love. And there are some emotional benefits. So why do people often fear vulnerability if it's a good thing? Well, first of all, I think we were taught not to be emotional out in public, right? Just that alone is being vulnerable. If you're too happy, too sad, too noisy, too whatever, somebody would take offense. We were talking about that this morning, about how church used to be that you had to be serious and solemn when you came to church, and you had to be quiet, and you had to only use certain words, and if you used other words or said it in a different way or dressed the wrong way, that you were bad. You weren't fitting in. And to actually come as you are, whatever that is being vulnerable. So, examples of vulnerability. Taking chances that might lead to rejection. Have you taken any chances this week that might lead to rejection? Or talking about mistakes that you have made. How open are you to talk about mistakes that you have made, or willingly admit that you've made a mistake? Depends on what it is, right? Sharing personal information that you normally keep private. For the longest time when I was a kid, I was really, really open. And when I was in school, I would get a good friend, like a best friend. You know how we would say, this is my best friend. And I would tell them my deepest secrets, which weren't really anything as a kid, but they were my deepest secrets. And then when they decided they didn't want to be my friend, they told the rest of the school, and I'd be so ashamed. And I remember hardening my heart and hardening my openness for quite a while, even through my teenage years, and didn't share my deep secrets because I figured somebody was going to blab them at some point, and just shared the things that I thought wouldn't matter if somebody else heard about them. And I've overcome that pretty much. At least one-on-one, I can share just about anything. Like this, well, you're just going to have to wait. Because I don't think I'm going to spill the beans quite yet. Feeling difficult emotions like shame, grief, and fear are another way of being vulnerable and what might keep us from being vulnerable. I used to be embarrassed because I would cry really easily. I'd cry when I was happy. I would cry when I was mad. I would really cry when I was mad because I wanted to express the mad, and I was so sad because I couldn't, because I would swallow it and then I would cry. And then if somebody tried to give me a Kleenex, then I'd be mad. It's like, how dare you give me a Kleenex? I want to bite your head off. It's interesting how we learn how to be who we are and how we learn not to be who we are. Reconnecting with someone that you've fallen out with. Can you think of a time where you reached out to someone you hadn't talked to for a long time because it was a difficult breakup, a difficult situation? It's a very vulnerable time. How about being honest about what you need in a relationship, including the boundaries and expectations? Because you see, all of that is important. Think about the time that you first were dating, and maybe you're doing that now. Not for the first time, but dating. And how somehow you just let all the boundaries kind of disappear while you're feeling the situation out. And then if it went on for too long, then it was almost too late to say the boundaries or the expectations. And why do we do that? I mean, if we could just be who we are in every relationship right from the first moment, if they didn't like what they saw, then get the heck out. And then you could just be yourself. And they wouldn't have to be pointing at like, I don't like that about you. So how you become closed off. As a small child, you were likely open and free, sharing all of yourself with others. Not everybody was, but depending on how your childhood was. But in most cases, up to about the age of 4, there's a carefreeness. And as you grew and matured, however, you learned that not everyone is on your side and not all situations are going to go your way. Over time, then you may have also learned to protect yourself. And I don't think there's anyone in this room or at home who doesn't protect themselves somehow. This might mean that you've built walls around your heart and become really good at not opening up. Maybe you say to people, oh, I'm a really good listener, but you never share anything. You may have begun to believe and internalize negative thoughts and feelings about yourself. And I'm here to tell you they're not true. So even if you've been thinking those things, they're not true. It's not who you are. None of it was your fault, the stuff that happened when you were a kid. And you aren't or weren't responsible for other people's behaviors. It's not your fault, the stuff that happened. It's important to learn from past mistakes and to strive for your own personal growth. To be able to let it go and say, yes, it happened to me. Yes, it warped the way that I reacted in the world for quite a while. Maybe it created pain in my body or something. But you can choose again. You can say, you know what? I've grown from that. That's my past. That's not who I am in spirit. I'm whole, perfect, and complete. I'm beautiful just the way that I am. And I deserve to have the best life ever. You do. And it's equally important to learn to forgive your own failures or mistakes. Do you sit and think about some of the things that, oh, I wish I could change that? And carry it around like a bag of boulders? You can just drop the bag of boulders. You did that then, you're not that person today. Are you quick to forgive someone else's mistake or even truly bad behavior, yet you continue to beat yourself up about some mistakes that you made? Why not be that kind to yourself? Building walls creates a safe space, but it also blocks the flow of energy and love in both directions. You can become really quite isolated within yourself, when you build those walls. And there is such beauty in getting to know other people, to opening up to who they are. And the more that you open up, the more people like you show up that are wonderful and loving and curious. It's easy to become trapped behind your own emotional defenses, leaving many people feeling isolated and alone. One way to reduce self-isolation and the fear of vulnerability is to embrace your authentic self. And sometimes, and I say this from my own experience, who am I really? And how have I gotten to where I am today, knowing who I really am? And it's come from honestly asking myself, why am I doing what I do? Why do I say what I say? Why do I react the way that I react? And then listening to those answers. To combat the fear of vulnerability, you must first learn to love and accept your whole authentic self. I mean, you may be searching for love or compassion or companionship or any of those things. And they have to start with you first, because you radiate this energy out into the world. And if you're radiating fear, and afraid to be open, then you're going to get more opportunities to have those buttons pushed. Does that make sense? So one of the toughest lessons that you will ever face is to love your flaws, imperfections, embarrassing stories, and past mistakes. You know, the warts and pimples of your life. Everyone is insecure. Everyone. Hear me. Everyone. And they're awkward and desperately wishing they could change certain things because it's human nature. Even the cockiest, most confident person, if they were to really, truly be truthful, usually they're the most insecure and awkward. And if you can look at someone like that that maybe just stomps on your one exposed nerve because of the way that they are, to recognize that they are the most fearful person in the room and to love them. Everyone actually feels this way, awkward and insecure at certain times. No matter how successful, beautiful, or perfect someone appears, they all have that same self-doubt and insecurity, at least at some points. And I think if you reach the point where you are totally free of that, please tell me how you got there. Because maybe if I'm close to you, it'll rub off on me too. So I invite you to aim for excellence, but not perfection. Do the best that you can. And it's never going to be perfect because someone will have an opinion about it. Even your little nattering voice in your head. One way to improve your ability to accept yourself fully is to treat yourself the same that you would treat a friend or a loved one. You know, do you talk to your friend the way you talk to yourself? I do now. I didn't always. Show yourself the empathy and compassion that you would show to others in the same situation. And now I have a few videos, short little snippets of a talk that Jim Carrey gave. And when I think of Jim Carrey, I think of this crazy comedian who now I know has found spirituality. And I think it's very insightful.
I've often said that I wished people could realize all their dreams and wealth and fame, and so that they could see that it's not where you're going to find your sense of completion.
I believe that I had to become a famous, idea.
Yeah.
And get all the stuff that people dream about and accomplish a bunch of things that, that look like success in order to give up my attachment to those things. It's been part of the evolution of ego is to spend your first half of your life acquiring and adding, thinking you can add to yourself, and it looks great. I mean, it looks great when you got a cool car and you got good, nice clothes, and and you've done something that people admire.
When I was about 28, after a decade as a professional comedian, I realized one night in LA that the purpose of my life had always been to free people from concern. Choosing to free people from concern got me to the top of a mountain. Look where I am. Look what I get to do. Everywhere I go. I'm going to get emotional because when I tap into this, it really is extraordinary to me. I did something that made people present their best selves to me wherever I go. I am at the top of the mountain, and I was, and the only one I hadn't freed was myself.
I played the guy.
Everything led to giving up the attachment to things. And isn't that an interesting thing? We think about people with fame and fortune and all of the money that they could ever need and use. And I'm not saying everyone who has gone that path has reached enlightenment to the degree that he has, but he certainly has. So here's another one.
The guy that was free from concern so that people who watched me would be free from concern.
And that's when my search for identity deepened. I wondered who I'd be without my fame. Who would I be if I said things that people didn't want to hear?
You're supposed to say, we're important. You're supposed to say, it's all going to be all right. And you're supposed to say that, whatever you dream can come true. And you're supposed to say all those things. I do believe in manifestation, power of that kind of stuff, but I don't believe that any of it matters. This mattering is to me a human construct.
I used to think Jim Carrey is all that I was. Just a flickering light, a dancing shadow, the great nothing masquerading as something you can name.
I don't exist, so they're all characters that I played, including Jim Carrey, including Joel Barish, including any of those things. They're all characters. Jim Carrey was a less intentional character, because I thought I was just building something that people would like, but it was a character.
Because ultimately, we're not the avatars we create. We're not the pictures on the film stock. We are the light that shines through. All else is just smoke and mirrors, distracting, but not truly compelling.
We're not the avatars that we create. And boy, do we ever spend a lot of time creating the avatar. So who would you be if you said things people didn't want to hear? Like, have you bitten your tongue this week and not said what you wanted to say?
Everything is divine. There's no thing that isn't divine. Everything is divine, and I'm that. I'm not the body. I'm you guys, and I'm this thing, and I'm this thing, and I'm the cameras, and it doesn't matter to me what's happening on them. Sometimes I still have the groove cut in me that wants my hair to look nice.
Right.
It's an ancient thing. There's still ego there, but I don't. I'm finding that ultimately the freedom from it is something people are kind of hungry for in a way. Right. They're like, I don't want to be me either.
Right.
And I go, well, great, because you never have been.
To find real peace, you have to let the armor go. Your need for acceptance can make you invisible in this world. Don't let anything stand in the way of the light that shines through this form. Risk being seen in all of your glory.
To find real peace, you have to let the armor go. Risk being seen in all your glory. And he admitted that, there's times when he wants his hair to look nice. And that's okay. But it's what's going on underneath. Is it fear that's driving it? Or just love and fun, sucking on suckers and just being silly?
Our eyes are not viewers. They're also projectors that are running a second story over the picture that we see in front of us all the time. Fear is writing that script, and the working title is, I'll Never Be Enough.
People talk about depression all the time. The difference between depression and sadness is just, from happenstance. Whatever happened or didn't happen for you, or, grief or whatever it is. And depression is your body saying, F you, I don't want to be this character anymore. I don't want to hold up this avatar that you've created in the world. It's too much for me.
Right.
And so a friend of mine who's a spiritual teacher has a really good take. His name is Jeff Foster, and his take on it is that you should think of the word of depressed as deep rest. Deep rest. Your body needs to be depressed. It needs deep rest from the character that you've been trying to play.
Right.
The great and powerful Oz. I'm the great and powerful Oz. How dare you come near me?
This is the voice
Of the ego.
And if you listen to it, there will always be someone who's doing better than you. No matter what you gain, ego will not let you rest. It will tell you that you cannot stop until you've left an indelible mark on the earth, until you've achieved immortality.
Our eyes are projectors running a second script over the picture. Fear is writing that script. The working title is I'll Never Be Enough. And how often is that true? I think what I loved the most about that snippet was his description of depression. I had never heard it described that way, and yet, doesn't it give you a better understanding, if you've been depressed, of how you just are so tired of putting on that facade, that persona, and you want to shut down for a while. And maybe for someone that you know that is depressed, that's what they need, to just not pretend anymore for a while. And that's what we can do as a gift to someone who's going through it, to just love them for who they are. And ask, perhaps, how can I support you?
You can spend your whole life imagining ghosts, worrying about the pathway to the future, but all there will ever be is what's happening here, and the decisions we make in this moment, which are based in either love or fear. So many of us choose our path out of fear disguised as practicality. What we really want seems impossibly out of reach and ridiculous to expect, so we never dare to ask the universe for it. I'm saying, I'm the proof that you can ask the universe for it. Please.
You can spend your whole life worrying about the future. All there will ever be is what's happening right now. I used to be so proud because I'd have my whole year planned in advance. And I still do that to some degree. But I am much more present these days. Are you? So we looked at being yourself and asking for excellence, not perfection. And what you really want may seem impossible, he said. I'm proof that you can ask the universe for it. And then he ends it with, please ask, because it's been so rewarding for him. So what is it that you haven't asked for? Is it peace of mind, to feel carefree, to be loved? Because you can ask for any of it. Just ask. And then you'll thrive.
I was holding back, scared to give it all. Thought if I had nothing left, I would surely fall. I was saving it up, refusing to give. Now I know that I was refusing to live, but I have seen the light, and I'm gonna make it right. No more holding back just to survive. Yeah, I'm gonna find a way to give my best every day and receive the gifts of this life. Yeah, I'm gonna thrive. I'm gonna thrive. There's no such thing as scarcity or lack, 'cause everything we give, it's always coming back. And every time we refuse to believe, we are simply refusing to receive. But when we see the light, then we can make it right and stop holding back just to survive. If we can find a way to give our best every day, we'll receive the gifts of this life, and we're gonna thrive. We're gonna thrive. God down. Reach your hand down. Let your love flow. It's time that you know when you see the light, then you can make it right and stop holding back just to survive. If you can find a way to give your best every day, you'll receive the gifts of this life, and you're gonna thrive. You're gonna thrive. We're gonna thrive. We're gonna thrive. Yeah, we're gonna thrive. Yeah.
So what's your takeaway today? What's your takeaway? I think of things that make me go, His definition of depression, the body's cry for deep rest. I can identify with that. So I'm also taking away that vulnerability empowers me to drop the mask and let my light shine. And that to combat the fear of vulnerability, I must first learn to love and accept my whole authentic self, loving my flaws and imperfections as well as past mistakes. I think I'm there. And of course, I'm going to follow his advice because I'm an obedient person. I will ask the universe for what I want. Things to ponder on. And we can always go back to the YouTube video if we need to hear it again. So now it's time to practice the law of circulation through conscious giving. And this can be financial giving and receiving, asking and forgiving, blessing and praising. And you can give right here in the sanctuary by way of using the envelopes at the back of your chairs, or for those online who feel so moved, can give us an e-transfer at email admin@unityspiritualcenter.com. We are grateful for all the ways that you support our center, through being online, for all our volunteers, and for all the prayers that we say for our community. And so, to express our gratitude today, I invite you to think about how you may contribute to this community. And with your hand and heart, let's say our blessing together. Divine love that I am blesses all I give and all I receive. And I just want to mention also that if you're going to make out a check to us, it should be in the name of Unity Spiritual Center.
I behold the Christ in you. Hear the life of God I see. I can see a great peace too. I can see you whole and free. I behold the Christ in you. I can see this as you walk. I see this in all you do. I can see this as you talk. I behold God's love expressed. I can see you filled with power. I can see done. I behold the Christ in you.
Oops, what happened? Well, that's okay. So let's pray together to just wrap this up. Knowing that Spirit is who each and every one of us is. I sense this peace at the core of my being. I feel the love that is who I am. I feel a deep sense of gratitude, knowing that even in the midst of chaos and fear, that I can tap in and tune in to the core of who I am, and all is well in this place. So I say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I let go and I let it be so. And so it is. And know that we're always here to pray with you. And so is Silent Unity, by the way. You can reach out to them 24/7. Or you can send us a prayer request at prayer@unityspiritualcenter.com. Or we have a prayer box here too, and you can fill out a prayer request and know that we hold you in prayer, knowing that the divinity is within you. And as you ask, you shall receive. So let's say the prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And so it is. And let's sing the peace song together.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Beautiful. So we shall see you next week. Those of you online, thank you for joining us again this week. And next week, for those of us in person, we normally have a Super Sunday. I'd invite you to just bring something as a potluck so that we can have a little bit more to share. And so we'll see you next week. Bye for now. And remember, I love you. I love you.